Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are making one of my absolute favorite recipes, French sourdough bread. But this isn't your typical sourdough. It's super soft and fluffy like a pillow with this amazing buttery sweetness. The crust is super thin, not chewy at all, which makes it perfect for toasting. Seriously, just imagine it with a little butter, some jam, and your morning coffee. It's so good. The best part, it's really simple to make, and I will walk you through every step of the process. So grab your ingredients and let's get started. Alright, let's first feed our starter. For this I'm using 50 grams of starter, 90 grams of water, and 90 grams of flour. Just mix everything together until it's smooth. Cover it loosely and let it sit in a warm place until it's bubbly and has doubled in size. This usually takes about 4 to 8 hours, depending how strong and happy your starter is. Personally, I like to mix it all before I go to bed, and by the time I wake up in the morning, it's ready to go for making the dough. Once your starter is active and bubbly, it's time to start making the dough. In a large mixing bowl, combine 380 grams of flour and 260 grams of water. Mix them together until there are no dry spots. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth yet. I usually start mixing with a spoon and then knead it by hand to bring it all together. Cover the bowl and let it rest for 30 to 60 minutes. This step, called the autolyse, helps hydrate the flour and starts developing the gluten, making your dough easier to work with later. After the autolyse, you will notice your dough is already pretty strong. Now it's time to add the rest of the ingredients. Transfer your dough into the stand mixer bowl. If you don't have one, no worry, you can mix everything by hand. It might take a little longer and be a bit of a workout, but trust me, you can absolutely do it. Once your dough is in the mixer bowl, start by adding 190 grams of your active sourdough starter. Use a hook attachment on your stand mixer and mix on medium speed. Let it run until the dough comes together in the center of the bowl. You will notice it start to look smooth and cohesive. This is what we're aiming for before moving on to the next ingredient. Once the sourdough starter is fully incorporated, it's time to add the sugar. We need 20 grams of sugar for this recipe. Sprinkle it over the dough and continue mixing on medium speed until it's fully absorbed. Next, we will add 20 grams of softened butter. Add it to the dough and keep mixing on medium speed until the butter is fully incorporated and the dough becomes smooth and elastic again. And finally, add 9 grams of kosher salt and mix one more until it's fully combined. Okay, when your dough is ready, it's time to let it rest. I like to transfer it to a smaller glass bowl so we can easily see how the dough grows during fermentation. Cover it and let it sit in a warm place for 30 minutes. After the dough has rested, it's time to start the stretch and fold process. First, wet your hands to prevent sticking. Then gently grab one side of the dough, stretch it upward and fold it over to the center. Rotate the bowl 90 degrees and repeat on all four sides. Once you've completed the folds, cover the dough again and let it rest for another 30 minutes. You will repeat this stretch and fold process 3 times, with a 30 minutes rest in between each set. Now repeat the stretch and fold process again. Stretch and fold again. Once you've completed the process, it's time to let the dough undergo its bulk fermentation. Cover the bowl and let the dough ferment in a warm place, ideally between 78 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, for 2 to 4 hours. You will know it's ready when the dough has noticeably increased in size, feel lighter, and has a slight jiggle when you move the bowl. I like to use a marker to track how much my dough has grown. It's a great way to see the process. After the bulk fermentation is complete, sprinkle the dough and your working surface with flour. Then gently turn the dough out, being careful not to deflate it too much. Next, take the sides of the dough and fold them into the center to create the ball. Gently flip it over and tighten the ball by rolling it around. Cover the dough and let it rest for 20 minutes. After the dough has rested for 20 minutes, it's time for the final shaping. Lightly flour your hands and the dough if needed and gently stretch it into a rectangle shape. Fold the bottom of the dough up to the center, then fold the right and left side toward the center. Next, fold the top of the dough down to the center, followed by the right and left sides again. Finally, fold all the sides into the center and roll the dough tightly from bottom to top to form a smooth log. Pinch and seam the sides to seal it securely. Once the dough is shaped, transfer it seam side down into a floured proofing basket. Then tighten all the sides again by gently bringing them to the center. Cover the dough with a clean kitchen towel or plastic wrap. At this point, place the dough in the refrigerator for a cold fermentation of up to 12 hours. The cold proof will enhance the flavor of your bread and make it easier to score before baking. When you're ready to bake, preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and place a Dutch oven inside to heat up. Once the oven is fully preheated, take the dough out of the refrigerator, remove the plastic wrap, and flip it onto a prepared piece of parchment paper. Don't worry if it's slightly off-center, you can gently adjust it as the dough is quite stable. Sprinkle the top with a bit of flour, then score the dough using a sharp knife or razor blade. I like to add a simple design first and then make a deeper score on the side to allow the bread to expand properly as it bakes. I do 2 light scores and then a third deeper score under the surface of the dough. Take out the Dutch oven and carefully place the bread into it. Bake at 500 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes with the lid on. After 20 minutes, remove the lid to allow the crust to develop. Reduce the oven temperature to 450 degrees Fahrenheit and continue baking for another 15-20 minutes, or until the crust is beautifully golden brown and the bread sounds hollow when tapped on the bottom. Once the bread is fully baked, carefully remove it from the Dutch oven and place it on a wire rack to cool. It's important to let the bread cool completely before slicing. This allows the crumb to set properly and gives you the best texture and flavor. And that's it, your soft and fluffy sourdough bread is ready to enjoy. If you like this recipe, please give it a like, leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more delicious recipes. Thank you for watching and happy baking. Bye bye.